Greetings, everyone. Corey here. Time for another Fooly Cooly discussion of alternative. Granted, that's Fooly Cooly alternative. um, episode 4. Just finished watching it. I will say, episode 4 probably is one of the weaker ones of the 4 so far. As far as my opinion. Just because it felt a little more. I don't know. Like at the start, it felt a little forced, but then it worked itself out towards the end. This one, of course, each episode pretty much focuses on one of the four, main girls. And of course, Haruko, she's always involved. But with this one, follows the main character. Well, it would seem like she's the main character, Komoto, which I find I haven't remembered her name yet. I'm just looking at it right now online. Keina. It's Komoto Keina. So I believe it's Keina is her first name. And Komoto is her last name. Because that's usually how a lot of Japanese, how they write it. They usually write their last name first name last. So, Keina. Hopefully I'll start remembering that. It's a pretty easy name, but I always forget. It focuses around her and a boy she likes in her class, which you've gotten hints of it from previous episodes here and there. This one finally draws it out, so this episode pretty much follows. Its theme is love. Really, if you're too young or not, ready for it, if you're, it's just finding love, I guess, at first. In this way, it's kind of like a puppy love. It's just something that they kind of come across, which they both kind of feel towards each other, but she feels it colors a lot more. She gets more flustered throughout the episode. How to trying to bring out her emotion to try to bring out something through her head, and it's typical Fooly Cooly where Haruko's pretty much just trying to push the buttons to make something come out of that head, and it actually doesn't happen. Surprisingly, nothing comes out. There's already a robot out there, which is interesting because it seems to open up a little more of the story of Medical Mechanica and really what they're doing. But yeah, it's interesting because you don't quite know if. Well, I mean, yeah, the robot was already out because the first time her head starts, she starts feeling something, the robot's already out and trying to hide, but it ends up being at the end, which has a nice little cool basketball fight scene with Haruko and the robot, which is pretty neat. The animation is very smooth, probably a little rotoscope, maybe 3D animation in there, but really smooth. I really liked it. So like I said, this episode was okay. Probably the weaker of the few. I don't really have much to say about it because it's just, honestly, it's not as in depth as the other episodes have been. It does draw out her character a little bit more, which shows that she's growing and she's getting used to these things. I mean, these situations that are going to arise now that she's going to be leaving, school and becoming an adult, which is, pretty much what Fooly Cooly is mostly about. People working through their problems and becoming growing up pretty much. That's the whole thing. So it works. I just wasn't just it was a good episode. It just wasn't that as good as some of the other episodes. So probably because it was just focused mostly on her. It didn't really have a friend. Their friends were in it, but they didn't really they had a few scenes. They were just mostly in the background, so didn't really have them as much. Didn't really draw out as much information about them. I have a feeling that the next episode is going to focus on pets, which is Nabera Tomomi. Yeah, she's the one that really hasn't had an episode yet, and it seems like she's due because this episode set up a few little things, small things that happen that seems like the next episode is going to focus mostly around her. The end of the episode does show that things are gonna progress very quickly. So these last 2 episodes probably gonna be pretty action packed, similar to how the original Fooly Cooly and even Alternative had the last 2 episodes really action packed. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and how it's gonna end. I'm actually very curious how it's gonna end. If it's actually gonna end just like all the others, where Hanako doesn't quite get Adamus, Medical Mechanica goes back to doing their thing, just people forget and just carry on, or is Hanako gonna get her, what she wants? Is Medical Mechanica gonna do what they need? Don't know. There's no season 4 of Fooly Cooly, so this could be the last of it. Which, if it ends with this series, I mean, it's pretty good. Good, very strong start, and hopefully they have a very strong ending. But got 2 more episodes, 2 more weeks. So until next time, guys. Later.